As with any regional growth and development, it's imperative to also grow the city hub. And this region of Northwest Ohio is no different. Joining me now is Paul Toth, the president of an organization called ConnecToledo that creates environments to attract people and revitalize the city hub. So Paul, welcome to Business Live 360. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, Kristi. Great to be here with you.
So as we said, Toledo is the hub of Northwest Ohio, and downtown Toledo is really the epicenter for business in the region. So as president of ConnecToledo, what would you say is your primary organizational mission and the purpose?
Yeah, so really ConnecToledo was formed out of the business community. There was a group that got together back in 2016 called the 22nd Century Committee. And it was a group of our CEOs, our corporate leaders, that got together and actually hired a planning firm that did a master plan for downtown. We had seen really about 50 years of downtown Toledo, typical of Midwestern cities. You know, we'd seen about 50 years of loss of jobs and loss of corporate existence in downtown. So there was a real goal to revitalize it. So ConnecToledo was born out of that effort. And we were really created along with those business leaders to help drive revitalization of downtown, find our way back to the great city that we were back in the early 1900s.
The downtown Toledo area has truly experienced a surge in new development and revitalization. How have you been able to do so?
Yeah, so I think one of the most important parts of communities like Toledo that are from the Midwest and have seen decades of lost jobs in manufacturing. Toledo's core was always manufacturing. And I think one of the important things is really developing that quality of life. And so that's really what we've been focusing on. Communities that are winning today are communities that are figuring out how to make an attractive place for people to live.
Why should millennials, let's say, be interested in the Midwest and specifically in Northwest Ohio?
Well, I have my own personal opinion on that. Part of that has to do with, we have to make our community cool for people to want to live. And so when you think about millennials and Gen Z and all the, all the people coming up in our future, we have to make it an environment that people want to be. And, Toledo, the one nice thing about Toledo and Northwest Ohio is an extremely cost-effective place to live.
Talk to us about some of the things that the Toledo and the Northwest Ohio region has that really are bringing people in and that are attractive to those who are considering.
We have a wonderful park system. We're in the process right now along our riverfront downtown of a $200 million big, bold renovation of our downtown waterfront. We call it the Glass City Riverwalk, being led by our Metro Park system, and it's really transforming our waterfront. Again, one of those huge investments that is all about quality of place.
So why is it that some Midwest regions thrive and others maybe fail?
Yeah, I think we grew up in Toledo as a manufacturing community. That was kind of in our DNA. It's where the glass capital of the world. That was the foundation of what we built our industry on. And those companies are still located. Libby Glass that was created back in the late 1800s in Owens, Illinois. Libby Owens Ford, which is now NSG, and Owens Corning. These were really all the foundational businesses in Toledo. And, through globalization, we've seen a lot of that low-skill manufacturing move to other places in the world. And Toledo has not reacted well enough, fast enough to create the opportunities for creating an environment for tech innovation. We've got a wonderful history of tech innovation. We parlayed the glass industry to create the largest solar manufacturing industry in the United States in First Solar. And that was really developed out of the University of Toledo and emanating from our glass industry. And so we've got a wonderful history and heritage of innovation. We just haven't doubled down on it. We're starting to do that. That's really part of our big push now with our business community and the revitalization of the communities, all focused around innovation, creating an opportunity for people to want to come to Toledo and give people a reason to be here.
And really highlighting those assets that we have of being near the Great Lakes and some of those things that are sort of our natural amenities. That's really important as well, is it not?
It is. We joke, those of us that have lived here forever, we always talk about you can get anywhere in Toledo in 20 minutes, and it's absolutely true.
It's a beautiful
you can
thing.
go 25 miles in 20 minutes, which doesn't. I just spent the weekend in Washington, D.C. and know, but sometimes you're lucky to move a mile in 20 minutes. So really appreciate the fact that we've got an unbelievable amount of amenities, the Great Lakes, we're in a location where we're 50 minutes from Detroit, and we're a couple hours from big cities like Chicago and Columbus, and it's a great place to call home.
I think that too is very intentional. I mean, you've had a committee like yourself and others working in the business community as well, working very hard to bring tech jobs, to bring innovation, to bring more white-collar jobs into the region. How is that looking in that strategy for you thus far?
It is. I'm excited about what's happened over the last 12 months. There is an unprecedented amount of resources available for communities like ours to raise up innovation. We've been able to engage with our biggest corporation, our Fortune 500 companies in and around Toledo, with the leadership of our business community. It's been exciting.
Well, Paul, congratulations on the successes so far, and we can't wait to continue to watch what happens in the future. And I can't think of a better person to be leading the charge than you. So thanks for joining us on Business Life 360.
Thanks, Kristi. Thanks for having me.
Sure. We thank Paul Toth for joining us to define the critical ingredients necessary to develop a downtown region that is successful, thriving, and innovative.